This is Good Chat, a conversation where Sunday truth meets our weekday lives.
It's been good talking to you. It's been good talking to
I have, but Mark, you should do membership.
All you have to do is tattle on me.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
So what are we talking about today?
Okay. Well, I wanted to start it off with Karri. I feel like once I have my thumb on it, like, oh, I think God is this way, and I think this is how it functions, and I totally get it. That's the moment that I stop learning and start to function in my like hearing the other voices, leaning on all this other stuff, and not specifically what comes to mind, because I've recently watched the progression happen and I was like, dang it, was the inner critic in me starts to sink in, and then I start to look at kind of how the world functions, and a lot of the world's function in love and grace and all that stuff is very much you burn me, I burn you. Like, if you have to perform at this level at least to have any form of like worth in the conversation, or like anyone will want to be around you and all that stuff. And that's like the easiest thing that sinks into me first when I spend a little bit too much time away from God in there. And what I've noticed is it's typically born out of I think I understand God's love for me. And then I just stop learning I stop exploring, I stop having that part of the like it shuts down that part of the relationship with me and him, because I'm like, well, I get it. Totally get it. And I've done that like with my wife too. Like, oh no, I get this part of you. And then like a week later, it's like, okay, fine. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'll stop speaking for you on that part as well.
Didn't you know we're a mystery, apparently? So just a lifelong solving of that mystery. Is what you're
exactly.
supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, it's I so typically forget that it's not about what I do. That's not why he loves me. Like, that's who he is. And that's, what he operates out of. And it's just interesting like that. The whole series like that we've been going through has been about remembering and renewing. And my memory is my worst enemy. And it's how like important of a discipline it is to have that built in of like, I'm going to spend time and reflect and remember and like not think that I have a grasp on everything, but actually just be open-handed each time. Yeah. Because that's like how good relationship functions, is by not making assumptions. The worst things happen when you do that. Yeah.
I don't know what to say to that. It's all right. It's all true.
That's all I needed. I just needed the validation.
I got this this prayer journal a couple years ago, and it's who is it? Hosanna Revival puts it out.
Okay. Nice.
And it's a 5-year prayer journal.
5
years. Think it would be like 3 feet thick. Yeah. But they did a really cool thing where you're not supposed to be like writing out your prayers in length. It's more like bullet points. And so each spread is like, a day in the year, but it's for all 5 years.
Nice.
So you can start it at any time and just plug in, your year, and then you just keep marching forward, and then you loop back around to that same date over and over again for 5 years.
Wow.
And so the cool thing is that you get to see what you were praying for.
Yeah.
And, last year or 2 years ago or 3 years ago, as you're putting in your entry, for that date. And I got it because I wanted to do a better job of remembering, because it is so easy to, in the little things, like the big things, I think we tend to remember. Like when we were like, our heart was just like,
Even then, I don't know. Like, how easy is it to remember specifically just how much you needed God in that moment, or just how much he loved you in that moment? Yeah. It's like the idea of a sunset in your mind versus seeing it in person every day, like way two different experiences there. Yeah. Yeah. Because I've had plenty of moments in my life where God has just been so present and it's been so evident, and I've been put in a place where it's like I have no other option but to see it, you know?
Mhm.
And then you step out of that, and even then there's just that leakiness of like, I know it,
Mhm.
but I don't live like I remember that really well
Right.
at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I like that journal as well, because it
Yeah.
forces you back into, this is
Yeah.
where I was.
Yeah.
back
And
here.
some of it's like not so fun to look. I'm like,
Oh,
gosh.
for sure.
I just remember, it really stunk, going through that.
Yeah.
But it does like take your brain to like, because now you're on the other side of the story and you know how, God was walking through
Mhm.
it with you, which you can't always see. And I don't know how this is going to turn out. I think
Mhm.
it should go this way. And God's like, no, we're going to go this way, but just hang on. I got you.
Yeah.
And so you kind of get to see that pattern over and over again in all the little things. And that's
Yeah.
what's kind of cool. It's not just the big stuff, like the big devastating stuff, but just the little, the little things.
The easy
And
things to forget.
the very easy
Yeah.
things to
But
forget.
but add up so well. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just I don't know, it's just kind of a sweet reminder of how he is so constant in everything and he wants to be involved in everything. And
Mhm.
because I noticed myself doing this dance and, when I started it, like it needed to be the really important stuff that I was putting in there.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah.
I can only fit like 5 or 6 bullet points in here. So, but somewhere along the way, I got the reminder, like he wants to be, and probably from teaching, because we're always telling kids, he wants to know everything. He wants you to talk to him about everything.
Mhm.
And so I noticed kind of a shift at some point that I was including more of like the things that were just, they were important to me, but they weren't as important as blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
and just a sweet reminder that he is in it and he wants
Yeah.
a relationship. That's what a relationship is. It's not just, the big important things.
Mhm.
It's, all those little things.
Yeah. I mean, we really do like to romanticize how relationships should be.
Yeah.
Like, especially like the dating thing when you're young and you're thinking about all of it. It's like, oh, it's going to be this and this.
yeah.
And it's like, no, it's sweaty socks on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, it's, they farted in bed as well. And
Yes. Oh, my husband's thing right now. He's started leaving his laundry in front of the hamper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it because it might still be clean?
Mark,
is it
if
that,
you
is
can
that
tell
midline?
me why, then I'll help him solve it.
Okay. So let me break this down. I have maybe 4 pairs of pants that I wear every day. Or not all at once. But 4 pairs of pants that I'll like shuffle through, and they're not dirty the first day unless they are. Like I spilled something or something happened. And so I need a place to put them. And so maybe it's like the, if they got washed, that's okay. But also I don't want to commit to them being washed fully. I'm just saying, I don't know if that's
Mariah,
where he's at.
I'm so sorry. We both married one.
I think we're all one. That's what it is. Yeah. But that's real life right there for you.
Yeah. He might wear these tomorrow, so he's just leaving it on top of this. Yeah. Okay.
I know.
Yep.
I'm going to move on.
Probably good.
Yeah, I like looking at my relationship with my own wife, even the tendency there of, well, I better show up which is good, like to show up and do all the things that are good for your marriage and good for the relationship. But if I don't, then I like don't deserve this or don't deserve that, or I, but she loves me like as I am.
Yeah.
And that takes practice to learn that kind of thing. And I think the same is with God. Like, he's going to keep being him no matter what. He is unfazed by us being us.
Yeah.
And we have to be the ones to start picking it up as well. Like the two-sided, he's not forcing anything on us. We got to pick it up as well. And that's so easy to forget too, because you just get caught up in your own cycles and your own proclivities in there. I don't know.
It is. It's easy to, especially if, like Brian was talking about that drift,
Yeah. Yep.
And we've all experienced it, and we're probably going to experience it again. And, and just, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but when I think about the faithfulness of God, and when Brian is saying things like, regardless of how faithful we are, which is pretty unfaithful.
Yeah.
God never wavers in his faithfulness to us. And I don't know, just constantly brings me, like, just remembering that constantly brings me to the point of tears is just because you start you just start remembering those seasons where you're just kind of distracted, and it wasn't even really anything good to be.
Yeah.
Just dumb stuff. Like, no, I should go sit down and spend some time in the Word, but I think today I'm going to do this instead.
Yeah.
I'll get back to it.
Right.
Get back to it. And and if my kids treated me like that, I'd be heartbroken. I'd be absolutely devastated.
Right. Because you have a relationship with your kids and you love them.
Yeah.
Like, you really dig them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I might, maybe I'll call my mom, but I'd rather go, like, spend some time on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be crushed. Absolutely crushed.
The things that hijack us.
Yes.
Yep. That we allow to hijack us. Yeah. I think going from this series, if I had to, like, encapsulate it for myself in a way, like what's Mark's going forward with this? I think for me, one of the big pieces is, yes, all the practical, like, I want to keep my relationship with God going. I want to, invite him into every moment. And I want to keep all of those pieces that are still alive in me alive for a good reason, not just because I'm doing something, but because of the relationship that I have with him. But I also need to keep remembering, and I know being with him does this, is remembering that I'm invited into an endless relationship. I'm invited into a grand adventure with him, and understanding, like, just how big he is. And so the big statement of he's faithful regardless of me, and he loves me regardless of how good I can love him, is huge. And that's like an endless conversation you could have. Yeah. And that is so exciting to be a part of. Yeah. And I'm invited into it as well. That's crazy to me. And why it's crazy is because I still have that tendency of I got to be faithful enough to be a part of something so cool.
Right. Isn't that weird how it becomes like a contractual thing in your mind? The story you start telling yourself, like, and when you're experiencing that drift. Oh, yeah. The story gets louder and louder that this can, that you're in a contract with God, and it starts becoming this behavior model of, like, well, if I was really, like, at 5 a.m. getting up and getting into my Bible, then my relationship with him would be, and I'm terrible. And it just gets louder and louder. And not weird. I shouldn't say weird. It's weird. Pretty obvious, like, as to why, but
it's weird still. Like, why is something so great and wonderful so hard to grasp, like, and pursue? Yeah. Like, hey, if you walk through that door, you'll get $1 million. Yeah. And you just have the hardest time walking through that door. Like, what? Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah. But I don't know. It's a reminder too that there is an enemy out there that wants to encourage the worst. He wants to encourage our destruction. And what an interesting lie that when you start to experience the drift, he gives you a reason as to keep on going, like, well, you've kind of blown it now. Yeah, so.
Exactly. Gets it in and then starts.
Yeah.
But that is also for every attempt of the enemy or every sinful longing or pursuit that we may have, the faithfulness of God still stands at that. And he still waits for us, pursues us, works with us. And that's just, even in the failure, it's such a gift to live in. And so it's like remembering how good it is. Truly, like, don't expect the worst because you have the guy who created everything on your side. Like, insane.
Yeah. Which is amazing because it would be, I don't know, it would be maddening if we were in his position for how many people, for how many years, nothing new under the sun. And like, oh, she's doing this one, Yeah. Here we go again for the 5 millionth time. But it just is such a loving, caring father. Such a loving, caring father that he's willing to walk through all of it with us, even though It's nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So is there anything for you this week after, or not even just this week, but just going forward that you're like, I'm taking that, I'm either keeping that in, reapplying, or this is a little new takeaway for me that I want to walk with?
Probably. This is why these are always so hard for me, because
know.
like in the moment,
Yeah.
and in my notes that I took during service, it's in there.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, because there were a couple of there was one thing that I wish I could remember it. Something that Brian said towards the very end. I was like,
Mhm.
"Ooh, I'm gonna, I want to noodle over that one for a little while." But
I mean, just in those key points that he had, there was a lot to unpack.
yeah, so good. How about you?
Aside from what I just said, because that is definitely one of them, the other part that I'm remembering is basically what hit me is like, I have a daughter who I love and I get to take care of and I get to raise and, be a part of that. But then I'm going to have grandkids that I, even being alive, don't get as much control over. And there's a little bit of tension for me just thinking, well, because she's one right now. So it's, of course, she's not ready to raise them. But like the tension of just thinking about like, I got to be a little hands off of that. I'm sure you're experiencing some of that as well. But then there's going to be kids that I'm not alive for after that as well.
Yes.
And I don't think about that often, but that does just make me go, oh my gosh, like, are they going to be okay? Is my family lying in faithful through generations, generation after generation? And that is the entire story in Deuteronomy is from this generation to the next, still faithful. Yeah.
So good.
So good.
You reminded me of it.
And this is the rebel generation who's having a way harder time with it. And he's still like, I'm here. I'm game. And
that he invites us into being part of that. I was just talking to a new teacher I was training. And it's a common thing for me to, explain to them is, or joke about is, in kids ministry, we're doing all of this work and we have to remember we're planting seeds and we just have to be faithful in understanding that God's called us into it's very important work. It can be frustrating sometimes because we don't, they move on to junior high and then in high school. And so we don't get to see, that front row seat necessarily of those seeds starting to grow and seeing them start to own their faith and wrestle with things in bigger ways. But it's such an important job. And that was the bit at the end. Like you got me there.
I got you.
Brian was talking about being faithful in doing that for the next generation. And I think part of being faithful in that is remembering it's not about you. And you're just called to be obedient, share the word of God with these generations coming up and try to help them understand they have a God who loves them, that created them, has a good plan for them. He's in control and he's always available to them and he gave them his word. And, and just keep on telling them that by showing up and being present for it. And it's just, and I don't know, it when I package up like what we do in children's ministry, it can feel so small on paper. But when you start thinking about that through the sense of Deuteronomy, it's huge. It's huge because it's going so much further beyond you. So much further beyond you.
Whew.
So good. So good. Gets me fired up. Everybody should volunteer in children's ministry. That's the message for today.
Amen. That's the only message. I agree. I definitely agree. It is so important. And what we do today is not just for today as well. I think that should always be the perspective in there. But again, one of those forgetful things that we sometimes get that God's gracious with as well. Well, hey, good chat.
Good chat. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Good Chat is a podcast by Foothills Church located in Cameron Park, California. For more information about our church, visit foothillscp.org. Thanks for listening.